Hi, second graders. My name is Linnea. I work at Larchmont Public Library, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of my favorite books that came out in 2020. So if you're looking for something new or interesting to read, you might want to try these books. The first books I'm going to talk to you about are my favorite fiction books of the year. So fiction means these are made-up stories. So one of my favorite ones this year is called Monster and Boy, and it's about a boy and a monster that meet for the first time. So think about if you met a monster, what would you do? I'd freak out, I'd scream. So what happens is when monster meets boy, boy screams, monster doesn't know what to do. He's never met a boy, so he eats him. So the beginning of a book is all about the boy living in the monster's stomach. And they talk to each other and eventually they become friends and go on adventures. So if you like something silly with monsters, this is a good book to read. Another book I really liked was called The Great Bunk Bed Battle, and it's about a brother and a sister named Fritz and Franny, and they want their dog to come sleep in their bed with them. But the dog can't decide whether to sleep on the top or the bottom, so they go through all these different arguments saying the top is better and the bottom is better. You'll have to read it to find out which one you like best. So I read a new series this year, and it's called The Misfits. And in the first book, there is a gargoyle. If you've ever seen a gargoyle, they kind of look like little monsters that hang on the side of buildings, really old churches, things like that. And his name is Gibbon. And he doesn't like being a gargoyle. He doesn't like sitting around all day on buildings. It's super, super boring, even though that's what he's supposed to do. So one day he leaves and he strolls through town and he sees a mysterious creature. And the creature says, "I've been looking for you," and takes him to this Isle of Misfits. And on this island are all kinds of other creatures like him that don't want to do what they're supposed to do, but don't want to get seen by humans either. And he starts to work for them, where they go around the world and find lots of misfits like them to join the island. The last book I'm going to talk to you about is called Albert Hopper Science Hero. So as you can see, Albert Hopper is a frog, and he's joined by his niece and nephew, Polly and Tad. And in the first book, he creates a giant worm to dig to the center of the earth. So if you like books with silliness, books with adventure, and books with science fiction, this would be a good book for you. I can tell you one cool thing, but I'm not going to tell you the rest. They do discover an ancient race of cave frogs living below the earth, but a lot more happens. You're going to have to read the rest to find out. Now I'm going to talk about graphic novels. Everybody loves graphic novels. So one of my favorites of the whole year is called Donut, get it? Donut, Feed the Squirrels. And it's about two squirrels named Norma and Belly. And they wake up one morning and they make pancakes, and the pancakes get burnt. So they have nothing to eat for breakfast and they're super hungry. And then they smell these donuts coming from a donut truck. Now, if you're a squirrel and you go up to a donut truck and you ask the guy at the donut shop for a donut, what do you think he's gonna do? He's not gonna give it to you, right? So they do try that and they get sprayed with water. So then it becomes a plan how to break into the truck and get those donuts, and it's really funny. There are more graphic novels that I want to talk about, but I don't want to waste all your time. So if you want to see more graphic novels or more fiction books that I really, really liked, you just have to go on the library's website, and we have a whole list for second graders. Now I'm going to talk about nonfiction books. And as we know, nonfiction books have facts in them, right? And I love facts. So my favorite kind of fact books are animal fact books. So I'm going to talk to you about two animal fact books that I really liked, and then a biography. So one book I really liked was called Super Facts for Kids, Sharks Can't Smile and Other Amazing Facts. So yeah, I didn't know sharks couldn't smile. But if you like sharks and you think you know everything about sharks, this might be a good book for you because it has facts that I didn't know about sharks. One of my favorite ones is that apparently American pocket sharks, I never knew there was such thing as an American pocket shark, are shorter than a pencil. So this is about the approximate size of a pocket shark. Isn't that cute? It also shows you the other size they can be. So like a whale shark, for instance, they can be as long as a school bus. Another book I liked about animals was called Wild City, and it's all about animals that live in cities and how they interact with us. So it has animals that live near us, like in New York, But it also has animals that live in other cities, like Mumbai in India. So if you look, Mumbai has a lot of different animals in the cities than we do, like leopards, monkeys, cobras. And it talks about the different roles of animals. So some animals in the city are scavengers, which means they collect garbage and they eat garbage. And that can be a good thing because they get to live and they get to eat the garbage, but it can also be a bad thing because then they interfere with humans a lot. So a big problem is polar bears are running out of food, so they're coming into big cities to scavenge, and that's not good. Besides talk about the bad things that happen with humans and animals, is they talk about the good things that happen, the ways that humans are making the world safer for animals. So if you want to help animals or you want to see how cities are helping animals, this is a good book to read too. The last nonfiction book I wanted to talk about is a biography, which means it's a book about a person. And this book is about Shirley Chisholm. Now, I don't know if you've heard that name before, but have you heard Hillary Clinton before? Yeah, remember she was going to be president 4 years ago? She ran for president. Well, what you might not know is that she's not the first woman to try to run for president. So back in 1972, Shirley Chisholm became the first Black woman to run for president. Now, she didn't win, but she had a lot of very important ideas that other politicians used, and she helped a lot with the movement for civil rights. This is a really interesting read. Now, obviously, I have a million more books I can talk about because I'm a librarian and I could keep talking about books forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But I know you guys have stuff to do. So if you want to look at any of the books that I talked about or see any ones that I really liked but didn't have time to talk about, you can go on our library's website and the books will be on there. Also, you can call us or email us and we can put these books on hold for you to pick up. Happy reading!